up? It's Kris Kaylin. I am here with Representative Deon Tedder, and he has something up his sleeve that I'm super excited to talk about, and you are working on a new bill. Now, the thing with this, it is for probable cause, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so can you give us a little bit more detail about the bill, how it got started, and who's involved?
Okay, so what my bill basically says is that the smell and odor of marijuana alone does not give probable cause for police to search a vehicle. And the reason that has come about is because oftentimes as a criminal defense lawyer, pretty much almost every report that lawyers see across the state and the country that I've talked to, the reason for officers entering or using the reason to get into a vehicle is because they state that they smell marijuana. Oftentimes there's no drugs found in those cars, but that's an avenue for them to do what I call a fishing expedition, to look for other things.
So with this bill, it's a lot that can change. And I know when I was reading, a part of this is because we have a lot of hemp farms in here. And we have a lot of hemp farms, hemp farmers. And really, with CBD being legal in South Carolina, you really can't smell the difference between marijuana with THC and CBD. So how are you able to battle that when people are asking about it?
Right, and so that's one of the main things of the bill as well, is that now that hemp is legal in South Carolina, we have hemp farmers, cultivators, you have smoke shops now where you can purchase CBD, flour, hemp flour, things such as Delta 8 that all look and smell the same as marijuana. So that makes it more of a gray area. If you legally purchase one of those items and you're driving and it has a raw smell, you should not be subject to a search because you didn't do anything illegal. So this does also put in some guidelines to protect those who are legally doing things, but also to stop against racial profiling.
Absolutely. And I always like to simplify things for my listeners and everyone that's just tuning in. So let's just say you're in an area where there may be CBD smoked and you walk out, or you're driving your car and the police pulls up on you. With this bill you're proposing, they would not have the right to search your car because they smell something when you're closing your car, correct?
Right, that's correct. And so this does not legalize marijuana, and if, say for example, you're driving erratically, officers can still pull you over and do a DUI test, field sobriety, but they can no longer just pull you over for not having a turn signal and then saying that they smelled marijuana to then get into your car to search for other things.
So I feel like with this bill passing, it could be a lot of things as far as like, people who are in jail right now because of probable cause and things that may have led to that. But also, do you see in the near future, I know you said that this bill isn't for, legalizing marijuana, but in the future, do you see that maybe happening in South Carolina?
I see in the future, I think we'll get to maybe medical marijuana first. I don't foresee recreational anytime soon, just how our legislature is. But I will say that this bill will provide civil rights protections for people of all classes. And so I think it's a great bill, and I think it's a step forward in moving forward to if we do legalize medical marijuana or eventually decriminalize marijuana.
Well, I think this is something great, but you're going to have people that may have negative things to say towards it. So what is the narrative that you just want to have going forward with this bill?
Yeah, so I suspect there will be people against it and think that this allows people to do illegal activity, but I just say simply look at what it does. And you can talk, I've talked to many lawyers and also other states have moved to do this because it's such a gray area. If an officer pulls you over and they just want to get in your car, they can literally say they smell marijuana. The problem is, say they don't find anything, but they charge you with something else. We can fight that in court, but we can never prove whether or not they smelled the marijuana to get into the car. So this just gives a guideline so that we can protect against that. And not all officers are bad actors, but this protects against those that are.
Absolutely. So how can people in the community, if they want to keep up with this bill, see what you have going on, how can they connect with you and keep up with you?
So you can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter at Deon_Tedder, on Instagram, Deon Tedder _ESQ. And you can follow along. I'll be posting things on my Facebook and things like that. What you can do to support this is start the conversation. You can call your elected officials, your state senators and state representatives, and tell them that you support this because I hope that we can take this up this year in the legislature. And the process, just to break it down, I've introduced the bill. It is now before the Judiciary Committee. So I'll have to get a hearing on that in committee, and then I'll have to get it passed out of committee. And ultimately, it will make it to the House floor where all 124 of us will debate it and hopefully ultimately pass it. We have a long way to go, but I do feel that I have support, and I'm still talking to other people to garner more support.
Awesome, and you said there's 124 on the floor, so how many do you need to pass?
So we just need a majority to pass.
Okay.
And as you know, Democrats are the minority here. So we will have to have some bipartisan support for this to pass. And again, I don't think this is a partisan issue. This is just a civil rights, basic human rights issue that you should legally be able to purchase hemp flower and those things and not be subject to an illegal search because someone may have smelled a whiff of what they believe to be an illegal substance.
Absolutely. Well, make sure you are reaching out to your local electives and everyone and just starting the conversation. I feel like this bill will definitely change the scope of things in South Carolina, and I'm looking forward to see it get passed. We're going to speak it into existence.
Yes, I hope so. And this will definitely, I believe, cut down on arrests, baseless arrests, which is what we need here in South Carolina.
Thank you again for taking the time. Looking forward to seeing the bill pass.
Yes, thank you for having me, and anytime you need me on, I'll be happy to join.
Absolutely.